G4ia Volume 3, presented by EB Games and Jeep.
Stay tuned. The Screensavers, next.
Tonight, create special effects like Hollywood. Get a hands-on tutorial with Cinema 4D. Plus, turn your Xbox into a web browsing computer, and Yoshi shows his computer's guts. Woo, isn't that sexy? Live from the Tech TV studios, San Francisco, it's the Screensavers.
Hey, hello, welcome to the Screensavers. I'm Roger Chang.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Thanks for joining us on the Screensavers. Hacking, cracking, gaming, and pretty much anything and everything technology related. We cover it all on the Screensavers. I had some coffee before the show.
I actually did not have any coffee.
Up.
Tonight we have a great show. Alex Lindsay is here to show you how you can be a Hollywood special effects artist with your home movies.
Very cool. Plus, I'm going to show you how you can mod your Xbox to turn it into a web browser. A little bit of Xbox modding, a little bit of dark tip.
It's kind of cool because I used to do that with my Dreamcast.
It's cool. You can sit there on the couch. You don't have to get up, get your laptop. You know, who wants to do that? Just sit back, relax.
Nothing like surfing on the couch.
Surf on the web. And Yosh, what are you up to today?
Well, you know, I'm doing some window mods. I did some hard drive mods, some case window mods. Why not do CD-ROM window mods today?
This is pretty cool. It's gutted a CD-ROM. Doesn't care about the radiation or the lasers or anything like that.
You know one mod?
To the wind.
Yes.
One mod I want you to do, Yosh, is to actually put a window on my refrigerator so I can see what happens when I close the door and the lights go out.
That would be cool.
Just put a camera in there, Roger.
I've seen that. I've seen webcams. They have beer cams out there.
You know, I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, just click.
It's a little switch, man. You know, it turns it off and on.
Come
off and
on. Don't destroy the magic. The window.
Okay.
And Dan is, of course, over in the Babe Corral over there today.
The Babe Corral. Look at this.
That's what we used to call it.
Well,
when Morgan was here and when Kat was here. And
oh, but not when I came here.
No.
Oh, I see.
You are not a babe.
I'm not a babe.
Well, you may be to some people in San Francisco, but not to us.
Well, anyways, give me a call. I'm taking your live call. Shut up, Kevin. The phone number is 888-989-7879, and you'll be noticing there's some Transformers DVDs here. So that's coming up a little bit later in one of the bumps I'm doing. So it's really cool. So stick around to see it. Awesome. Back to you guys.
All right.
Love the Transformers.
I actually still have a lot of Transformers left over. One of these days I'm going to sell it for thousands and thousands of dollars.
Very cool. Let's start with the tech news that caught our eye today. I've got the first story. Now, you may have heard Apple is approaching their 100 millionth download.
100 million.
100 million. And in doing so, they're giving away 50 special 20-gigabyte iPods, one to each purchaser of the 100,000 song downloaded between 95 and 100 million. This is all confusing.
How many
to me.
myths can you have?
In addition, the person who downloads the 100 million song will receive a 17-inch PowerBook, a 40-gigabyte iPod, and a gift certificate for 10,000 iTunes songs to create what they call the ultimate music library. That's crazy.
It is.
But we want to mention this because, you know, we don't just want to plug Apple, but we want to show people there's actually a way. You don't have to buy the songs. We have a little dark tipperish tip going on here. We're going to show you how to enter for free and hopefully win all this cool stuff. So here's your iTunes, and if you go into iTunes, launch this. That is not iTunes. That is a picture of a flowery leaf. There we go. There's the iTunes.
There we go.
Wrong computer. Choose any artist that you want. Let's find a good one here. I guess it really doesn't
Kim's
matter.
Chords.
Sonic Youth. There we go. Okay, so we pick a little Sonic Youth. Great band, by the way. And if you click on this little icon right here, it's hard to see. It's going to take you to the Refer a Friend link. And right here over on the right-hand side, it should say
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. There it is. So we choose Tell a Friend right there, and then click that. And then in the to email address, now this is where you type in iTunes100@apple.com.
Whoops.
So not tubes, there you go, iTunes100@apple.com. And then the from, you put your name.
Sorry, I actually use an actual keyboard of it. I can't type on a normal keyboard.
So you put your name in the from and then your email address in the to, and you click submit, and you're automatically entered without having to pay the 99 cents for a song. Now, this is cool because they're giving away 50 iPods and the whole PowerBook thing.
But you could use this to potentially win that 17-inch PowerBook.
Right, and here's the thing. Now, I'm not saying you should do this, but there's certain automated software out there that, can automatically...
Processes.
Yes, that can help you out. If you have a hard time typing, you have carpal tunnel or something like that, you can use the automation software to help do this for you.
And, and much quicker than you normally would be able to, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine you could probably do, not that I've tried this, but 20 or 30 entries per second.
deluge
Yes.
the Apple Store with your, response.
Yeah.
I like the song. I like the song.
It sounds good to me. And it's a great way to win some free products, so we just wanted to let you know about that.
All right. Well, just when you thought you had Internet Explorer finally patched up, another flaw has been found. Although Microsoft released a patch on Friday to mend 3 existing security holes, does not fix the new flaw. Microsoft says that it will be working on the few more fixes for this new flaw. However, researchers recommend that Webhead should actually use something else instead.
We've been saying that for quite a while. You've been saying that on Call for Help. We've been saying that on the screensavers.
I use Firefox mainly because it's quicker. It doesn't need to be installed. I can unzip and just run it from an executable. Which means when I reinstall Windows, I can just relaunch it without having to worry about my bookmarks, my links, and all my cache.
Very cool. I never thought about that. I didn't know you could just run it. So you could actually put that on a thumb drive.
Oh, yeah.
Keep all your bookmarks and
yeah.
everything and just take it with you wherever
Yep.
you go. That's cool.
Pretty hot, huh?
I like that. Firefox, of course, is one of our favorites here. We need to add just like a weekly segment about these IE flaws. Like there's one coming out every week. It should just be like a given thing.
It should be actually kind of scrolled on the bottom like you do on Fox.
Yes, dude,
A
we need a
tape.
ticker at the bottom with the IE flaw of the day. That's awesome. Great idea. Next story, Michael Moore's new film Fahrenheit 9/11 is generating even more controversy lately. Moore recently told the Scotland Sunday Herald that as long as pirated copies of his new film are not being sold, he has no problem with them being downloaded. Now, Jack Valenti, the president of the Motion Picture Association of America, has spoken out against Moore's pro-piracy stance, stating that piracy is having a dramatic impact on the creators and copyright owners of this nation. Boo freaking who, man? They're still making millions and millions and millions of dollars per movie.
My take is, would Michael Moore mind if I pirated his first movie?
Probably not.
You think not?
I don't know. Well, if he says he's cool with this one, then why not all of his
I'll
movies?
try it. I'll try it. see what kind of response I get.
All I'm thinking is that the whole movie industry is kind of taking the wrong stance on this. They don't understand.
They're taking a very old paradigm to something that's totally new. I mean, they're using laws that were enacted 50 years ago to combat stuff that just came around like last year.
Well, the problem that they don't realize is that even if, like, let's say a friend of mine were to go out and download movies on a regular basis, he's still going to go out and buy the DVD when it comes out because the quality is still pretty crappy.
Yeah, the quality is crappy. I still buy DVD. In fact, I own more DVDs than I do CDs, and the simple reason is because they're relatively inexpensive, but I actually like having the features and relatively high quality of the video that you don't get when you get like a DivX movie.
Right, and you also don't get the surround sound.
You don't get the surround sound. You don't get the multi-language tracks for people who are into multi-language tracks.
I have a feeling that Apple is working on something to come out with. I've heard little rumors going around that they might be working on a movie download service as well, which would be pretty cool. I'd be down with that. As long as you can get the 5.1 and the whole full quality.
Yeah, and they can cram it so it's not, a gig or two to download.
Yeah, that's also a big problem. That is the news for today. Good. But now, Eric joins us on the phone from Huntington Beach, California. Hey, Eric.
Hello.
Hey, you have a question for us?
Yeah. I have a VoIP, which Dan likes to call, and an Xbox, PS2, and a Replay TV, and I want to be able to connect all of them wirelessly. Is that possible?
Wow, so you have all of them, the Xbox, PS2.
What kind of VoIP service do you have?
Vonage, actually.
Vonage.
Yeah.
I love Vonage, actually. I use it for about a month, making long-distance calls. And you know what? It works pretty well. In some cases, I actually found out that it worked better than the actual long-distance carrier.
Explain to it what is real quick. People don't know what VoIP is. Or
VoIP is voice over IP, and what Vonage does is essentially take a connection, for example, DSL or cable, high-speed internet connection, connect a box to it, which then you could connect a normal POTS telephone line or a POTS phone to it. You dial normally, and it connects to the Vonage server, and then it connects from the Vonage server over the internet to a normal landline, so you can make a normal phone connection. So people can call a number and reach you on your Vonage phone, or you can use your Vonage phone and call someone else.
And it's free.
And
long
it's free.
distance.
Well, I shouldn't say free long distance. It's reduced rate. It's competitively priced. You still have to pay a monthly fee, but the rates are cheaper in many cases than you would normally find with long-distance carriers.
So, Eric, that has nothing to do with your question.
No, it doesn't. Probably not. Huh? Just eating up the minutes.
So let's get to his question. He wants to take everything wireless.
Yes, he does. And what you want to look for is you might want to
yes.
switch over. I'm unused to your screensaver setup.
Okay, let's switch over.
Call for help was so much easier.
Dude, it's call for help. There's a reason for that.
Oh,
This is the hardcore show.
Maybe. Anyways, what we found is from Linksys, you can get this wireless G game adapter, and what it essentially is a wireless bridge, which means you connect this device to the Ethernet port on the back of your Xbox, your PS2, or your VoIP device, and then it would link up with your wireless router that we actually have in front of us.
So let's think here. This doesn't have multiple ports, so you would have to get one of these for each device then?
Yeah, this essentially, yes. What this does is converts that hardwired connection to our wireless one.
Mm-hmm.
They run around $90. I found them a little cheaper, but you have to search online, and you do need a wireless router of some sort in order to take advantage of this.
I see. Now, are all your components in one spot, Eric?
Yeah. Actually, I heard about a 5-port wireless access point.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He could get that and then just combine them together,
yes,
right?
you can get one of those. This one, I believe, does not have the 5-port.
Right, this is just for your standard, somebody that has like one Xbox or one PS2.
But you can get one that is 5-port. Yes, you can.
And then you plug it in.
You plug it in, and you would use it normally like you would on any wireless or wired connection, I should say. It should work just fine. I've actually used one of these with an Xbox. Didn't have any issues with it. Tried it with a PC, just an Ethernet card.
Right.
It worked fine. You might find some issues if you have issues with TV reception, because radio interference will negate some of the effectiveness with wireless devices.
But hopefully we shouldn't have to worry about too much, just because there's not that much data going over that line.
No, you shouldn't. For most cases, but then again, some people live in strange circumstances where they might be next to an individual that might have like his own radio transmitter.
Microwave factory or something.
Microwave factory, or
Doesn't
cement. Cement walls, bad,
Yeah.
not good.
Well, thanks for the call, Eric. Hopefully that helped you out.
All right, we're just getting started on Yoshi's got an easy mod for putting a see-through window on your CD-ROM drive, and after the break, learn how to composite like a Hollywood FX house. We'll teach you how to use Cinema 4D when Screensavers continues. Our next guest was a regular Photoshop expert on my old show, Call for Help. Today he's here to demonstrate how easy it is to composite like a Hollywood special effects artist using a product called Cinema 4D. Joining us now is Pixel Core's Alex Lindsay. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, sir.
Different set, different show, but same people involved.
Oh, it is different, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's brighter and
Wait, our show
more
was a little
complicated.
brighter. This actually has more earthy tones. But that aside, what is this whole thing about compositing with Cinema 4D that makes it better than, say, using Maya or something?
It's not necessarily better. It's just that there are a lot of these tools, and they all have very similar attributes. The cool thing about Cinema 4D is that it's a lot easier to learn than Maya. Maya is very, very powerful and very, very complicated. So Cinema 4D is much easier to get started on and to actually put stuff together, and it has a ton of the high-end effects that effects facilities actually use. We're using it right now on some stuff for MTV.
Now, you're using something called image-based lighting. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Well, back in the old days, when
I was still in college, mind you.
Yeah, back in the last century. Most of the time, we used what we call computer-based lighting. So what we would do is we would create little lights in our computer programs.
Oh, virtual lights around the 3D model.
Right, and so and the idea was we'd have to recreate it. So we'd have to try to find all the coloration of the light bouncing off of something red,
sounds very tedious.
It was extremely tedious, and rarely was it very accurate. In the last couple of years, what we've really started to do is take pictures of the set. So we just literally take these big photos of the set, and then we use them as the lights to actually light the 3D model.
Now, how do you take the pictures of the set? Can you use any camera and any shot, or is
you really can use any camera? There's some things that make it easier.
Okay.
So, this makes it easier.
Now, what is this contraption you got on top of your tripod?
Well, I got myself here this is a Nikon D70.
Okay.
And I have this lens is a fisheye, so it sees
fisheye.
180 degrees.
So super wide angle.
Yeah, it's like it's effectively a 16 millimeter. And what this does is it keeps the lens rotating right around what we call the
access
nodal
point.
point. Yeah, and then I can take very precise measurements. So I can take it at a very specific set of angles here. I can go up like this and go down like this.
So that way you can have an image that's seamless as possible.
Exactly. So we shoot those base images. In fact, this is what you get when you start shooting. I came in last week while people were setting up.
So that's what you were doing.
Yeah, you're wondering why I was wandering around. So I shot a couple of these photos. Now, this has been done for a decade, so there's nothing. This isn't a new technology. Using it for lighting is what most people used it for when we were shooting them was to do this. This is a QuickTime VR.
Okay, and we used to do this all the time in school to create little virtual reality of our rooms.
Exactly.
And that, that's actually cool right there. But I mean, you're going to take it to the next level. I understand.
Right. So now what we did is this is one exposure, but what I actually did is actually an expert named Greg Durrett came in with me, and he shot 5 exposures at every angle. So every angle that we have here. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. So every shot you actually took 5 times, each with a different exposure setting.
Right. The advantage of that is that we a digital photo only has just a little sliver of light. Compared to what we can see or what's in the world, it's like this much. But what we need is this huge range to properly represent how bright lights are. So what we need to do is create what we call a high dynamic range image, or an HDR.
Yeah.
So what we do
so
is
easy.
Well, it's actually we use a program called Stitcher to stitch all this stuff together, and there's a tutorial on our website. And then here, this is what the Tech TV site looks like unwrapped. So this is that all of those pieces stitched together. Now the thing is I can change this exposure. I'll make it brighter here.
So by basically having all those different exposure levels, you can actually bring up or lower down the contrast in that image.
And so I can make it brighter or darker, but I don't lose. You can still see the lights. All the detail on the lights.
And all
is still
this
there.
will enable you to get more dynamic lighting in your final image.
Exactly.
Okay.
So let's see what it looks like.
So how do we use this image in Cinema 4D?
Well, here's Cinema 4D, and I have this. I have my little gremlin, and here he is in his little walk cycle. And so now what I'm going to do is if we look here, this is just a material. So these little balls are all just these material settings. This is what this. If I can just throw this onto any object and it just adds this to it.
Okay.
So this is set for the luminance, and this is that photo that we saw before. So that is the photo.
So this is a light map.
This is a light map.
All right.
So what I'm going to do is all I have to do is drag this light map onto this sphere.
Ooh, I noticed it looks kind of pixelated there.
It's all pixelated because that's what we call an OpenGL preview.
Okay.
We just want it to go fast, so it'll look
down
much
and
nicer.
dirty, but it's just there to serve a very basic
Show
purpose.
us where it is.
All right.
Now, when I hit render, what it's going to do is it's going to start rendering. Now, this is a background image.
So it's a different image for the light
Separate
map.
image in the back, but you can see all the lighting that's going on here.
If you guys look at the actual little gremlin, you'll notice that shadows are starting to appear on his face and his body as it renders through.
And all that shadowing is being created from that image. So the color, the shadowing, everything else is being created from the image.
So essentially you come up with more precise lighting. You don't have to guess everything and actually have something that fits in without having it stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, and without being I don't have to be a photo science major to understand, to figure out what color is the light and all that other stuff. I just need a picture of the light.
So you can drop that gremlin into anything, and as long as you shot that image or that backdrop or that environment in the same way, you can have lighting that is,
that matches it right up.
Matches that environment.
In fact, I have a couple samples here. Let me find Photoshop. So here's a close-up of that gremlin here in the set again.
Okay.
So he's lit from the set. Now here, that's the lobby for our building.
All right.
So you can see how his whole coloration changed based on that
It's a
image.
little darker?
We were shooting in the Apple Store. We're actually showing this technique in the San Francisco Apple Store next week. And so here is what he looks like in the Apple Store. So all of those things change based on the lighting that we have.
Oh, cool. Now, people can actually download Cinema 4D, a demo of it at maxon.net.
Yes, there's a demo. It's got everything in Cinema 4D.
Multi-platform, doesn't matter if you're PC,
Mac. It's super stable, and I actually, on the Pixel Core site, we have a ton of sample files.
Okay, so that's at PixelCore, corps.com/TechTV.
Right, so kind of like P-Score, Pixel Core, P-O-C-R, with
cool.
PS.
All right. Well,
and then there's a ton of sample files and tests that people can look at.
Great. Thanks a lot, Alex.
Thank you.
All right. If you missed a step, don't worry. Alex got a detailed tutorial along with the demo video clips to download at xbox.com/techtv.
Now, still to come, Yoshi's got a slick mod for exposing the inside of your CD-ROM drive. That's coming up a little bit later. But up next, Michael, our next caller, has 2 versions of Windows. What can you do with it? Find out right after these messages.
Tonight on G4 Tech TV. Get your game on. X-Play, tonight at 11 p.m., only on G4 Tech TV.
Don't forget to register for this week's Screensavers LAN party.
And we're powered by NVIDIA. We're playing the massively multiplayer or player online role-playing game Star Wars Galaxy. One more time. Last week we had hunting for Rancors, Knife Sisters, Tusken Raiders, and Gorax. It's a Gorax. We're going hunting again, except this time the Screensavers are going as Jedi.
This is the kind of cheating because before, I mean,
A Gorax,
Dan is going to be a Jedi.
What's a
Dan does not-
Gorax? I've never seen a Gorax in any movie.
To get your character started on the Intrepid server right now and get ready, go to g4techtv.com/LAN party and click the Join Our LAN Party to register. And if you don't have the full game, you can download a free 14-day trial, but you got to start now because it's 1.9 gigabytes
1.9
in size.
Lord.
Yes. Have mercy.
Yay.
It's huge. Once you register, we'll send you the details on where you can meet, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Screensavers LAN party. Now, I also want to tell you, if you want to play with us during the week, Dan and I, we play all different types of games. Dan is on the Intrepid server. He is known as the Beast. He will be playing tonight. And I'm currently playing Lineage 2, and I'm on the Erica server, and I'm known as Element K, and I will be there on tonight. We like to play during the week as well and get as many people as we
Gorax.
can.
What's a Gorax?
What is a Gorax?
In one of the Ewok movies.
There's only one Ewok movie.
No, I thought there was 2. Is there one?
What's the second one?
I don't remember, but there's definitely
Ewoks on Ice?
there's definitely in the Ewok movie. There's a Gorax in there, and he's huge. He's got like 500,000 hit points too. He's hard to kill.
In the movie, he had 500,000 hit points?
Yes, in the movie, Kevin.
Wow.
Wow.
Gorax.
Michael joins us on the phone from Burbank, Washington. Hey, Michael.
Hey.
You a big Gorax fan?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. That's that stuff in boots, right? You know, the stuff that lets your skin breathe. Oh, wait, that's Gore-Tex.
Gore-Tex.
My bad,
Yeah. Anything we can help you out with today?
Yeah, I've got 2 hard drives, a 5 gig and a 160.
Mm-hmm.
I want to put XP on the 160 and 98 on the 5 gig, and I want to choose in between them when I boot up which one to run. How can I do that?
Cool.
Now, Michael, do you have both of these currently installed, or are you going to install them?
I have the 5 gig installed right now.
And that has 98 or XP on it?
That has 98.
Ah.
Sweet. Well, you're in luck.
Yes, you are in luck.
Because all you have to do now is put the other drive in, install Windows XP on it. XP is going to look at that 98 and says, I know what 98 is. It adds it to a file called boot.ini.
Yep.
And then it will say, it'll allow you to choose at boot up. It'll say which one you want to select. There'll be a certain time, like 30 seconds to choose.
Yeah, you can actually set the time, I believe.
Yeah, you can. You just edit the boot.ini file. It's a little string in there. And then just hit enter, and you'll boot right into the OS.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Now, just remember, if you somehow fudge that boot INI, you're going to have trouble booting into either one.
Yeah. So definitely either make a backup.
Yeah, make a backup, or just make sure you have everything set the way you want before you go and try reinstalling everything else.
Yeah.
All right.
Very good advice. Thanks for the
Mike.
call, Michael. Jinx.
Let's face it, the Transformers are cool. I'm a big fan. Roger's a big fan. Who isn't these days? But what makes them even more cool are breakdancing Transformers. This is so dope. To view this little flash animation, go to Walenkin.com/Transformers. It takes a while to buffer, so be patient, but it's worth the wait, no doubt. It's awesome. Now, don't go anywhere. Use your Xbox for more than just games and movies. Surf the web on it. That's coming up later. But after the break, if you're going to put Windows in your case, why not put them in everything? That's all coming up when the Screensavers continues.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose. Coming up in this half hour, I'll show you how to browse the web on your Xbox and of course more of your live calls. But now, one of the cool things about the newer Clear computer cases is that they show off the internals, the insides of your computer, making any component inside fair game for modding. So Yoshi is going to show us a quick and easy way to mod your CD-ROM or DVD-ROM drive.
Well, yeah, the Windows within Windows, or in this case, an entirely open box.
That is awesome. That is very cool.
If you're going to have, let's just show a little example. This modded drive over here is what we're showing. So if you're going to have a drive in your system and the box is open, why not be able to see it? It's kind of cool.
That's a CD in there, the red.
Yeah, so you kick it out there, won't kick it back in. You can see it spin up and.
Now, do we have to worry?
Cool.
Now, one of the big things with the CD-ROM drives I've seen is like the laser warning, like, you'll burn your eyes out. Do we have to worry about that? Have you had any problems?
Some people probably would say yes. I've thrown caution to the wind, and I'd stare at the things. I like watching the drive spin.
You're the kind of guy that like rips off the tag off the mattress, aren't you?
Yeah, just to see. You guys, those mattress cops might come and arrest me.
That's right. So, how do we make something like this?
It's really, 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 really easy. Actually, it'll cost you probably about 10 or 15 bucks maximum. Mm-hmm. Basically, you're going to start with your regular drive, and of course, we'll pull all of our components off of it here, which I've.
Now those are snapping off easy for you. Did you have to?
Yeah, I've already unscrewed everything.
Okay, so there's a bunch of screws.
It pops off a little easy. Yeah, there's like 4 screws on the bottom usually, and let me have a little difficulty with that. You want to take it apart because otherwise you're going to destroy the internals of it. 'Cause this is not meant to have dust and all kinds of nasty stuff on the inside of it.
Gotcha.
I like to use a little masking tape on the drive cover itself. Let you draw on it. Figure out what design. This is my logo here. If you don't like it, well, you can pull it off and start with the new design.
So now, can you make any? I made a design when we were at break when Roger was doing his thing. Can you do anything? Could you do something like the Family Guy?
Well,
that would be cool.
You could do something like the Family Guy, but you're going to have to think that when you're cutting a hole, and this goes for a case window as well as this kind of a window,
right.
You have to work with negative space. So anytime you complete a line, everything inside is going to be gone.
I see. Okay.
So you'd have to make sure you leave gaps of metal holding things in.
It's like cutting a pumpkin or something.
Exactly
like
cutting a pumpkin.
Cutting a pumpkin?
Cutting a pumpkin. Yeah, cutting a pumpkin.
Okay, so now about drives, is there any special? I mean, I don't want to do this to my DVD burner. Would you really recommend something like that? You're confident enough to where
you're modding this. You're not modding the drive.
Well, I understand, but I don't know. There's lasers and kinds of stuff going on there.
It opens up all the time. Dust gets in there. Why worry about it? You're modding the cover.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's like modding a case.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
So after you cut it off, you're using the Dremel to do this, right?
I'm using the Dremel, and of course you're going to go real slow and make sure you don't accidentally gouge the heck out of it, which is another reason to put the tape on there. You can kind of protect your surface if you're not going to paint it.
Okay.
I'd recommend painting it because it cleans up the surfaces, and then you can use a little, series of little files to clean up your little lines, maybe your hard corners, that kind of thing, for your detail work.
And then also, after you did that, did you paint it first, or did you put the plexiglass in?
I painted all the components because you don't want to be trying to paint things with the window there. It's just not going to work too well. Mm-hmm. And then.
What type of paint did you use for that?
I used a model paint.
Okay, so you just picked
model paint. I wanted to match the color of the frame, so I went to the model shop and got something that looked pretty close to the frame.
Okay.
And then basically, one other thing you might want to think about is this little guy in here. I left that inside my design, so this basically is the magnet that pops down on top of the CD-ROM.
Ah, okay.
It will spin up without it, but not too well. You want to leave that into your design or make another little pocket for this to hold in place on your clear window if you're going to make an entirely clear window.
Okay.
And then I just cut a piece out there and kind of trace my design out. And the cool thing about this real thin plastic...
Yeah, what is this stuff?
This stuff's actually meant for heat forming. It's 30 thousandths thick. Once you get your design on there, I mean, you can cut it with a pair of scissors.
Oh, I see.
Like, really, 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 really easy.
You're like Martha Stewart here. This is amazing. So where do you pick up this stuff? Like, is this...
I got this...
What do you ask for?
I got it at Tap Plastics. Well, you want to look for just the thin plastic. Any kind of like arts and crafts, or especially a plastic supply store is going to have what you're going to need.
Okay, so this isn't blue. This actually just peels off here.
It actually peels off. That's a protective coating, so
okay.
It'll be clear once you peel the coatings off.
Very cool. And then how do you put that within... Are you using some... I see you have some glue here, some epoxy?
Some epoxy. Just mix up some 5-minute epoxy. I just got some popsicle sticks to mix it with, and you break them. You can carve a little teeny applicator tip so you can get just a little detail amount down there and put it on there. If you're using 5-minute, make sure that you can get it all on before 5 minutes. Otherwise, get like a 30-minute, working time so you can have a little more time to kind of get it on there and get your piece.
Pros go with the 5-minute.
That's just because I'm used to doing it really quick.
Right.
But if you're not used to doing it real quick, use a 30-minute. It's half hour.
Now you also did the hard drive here. Show me that one real quick. This is something that you did a while back, right?
I did this one about a year ago, actually. And
so right here,
actually,
you can actually see right into the disc.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. You can see it start to move around there. I'll launch some files.
When you're accessing data.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now this one's a little more trickier because you have to worry about dust and
Yeah,
stuff
you're
getting
doing a
inside
hard
there.
drive, you're asking to ruin it, really.
Okay.
I ruined 2 making this one, actually. So, and this one will probably fail, I would say probably magnitudes of order faster than a regular one, because I opened it in a regular room. I mean, I cleaned it really, really good, but it's not a clean room.
Right.
So I introduced dust into the environment, which it shouldn't be in there.
Gotcha. So you find an old drive, go to a swap meet or something like that.
Get one off eBay for like $20.
Is there any way you could wire that up just so the head just goes like this, just for looks or something like that?
Yeah, I guess you could sit there and have it defragmenting all the time.
That'd
so
be kinda
just
cool.
pump them back and forth.
That's cool stuff. Though. I like that though. Thanks, Yosh.
Yeah, no problem.
That is awesome. For the details on how you can mod your drive just like this one here, head on over to thescreensavers.com.
That looks pretty cool. Very good, Yoshi. Stay where you are. Are you going to jail if you have an iPod? Find out the controversy in just a tick. But up next, browse the internet using your Xbox with Kevin's Xbox Hack. That's all coming up. Screensavers continues.
It is time for another Xbox mod. This time we're going to convert the Xbox, the modded Xbox, by the way, into a full-blown web browser.
So you need a modded Xbox to do this.
Yes, you do. And we've done instructions on that. We have up at the website. Ton of links and information on doing that. It's a little more complicated. We can't go through all that today. But once you've modded it, and I know a lot of you out there have already, you can install an application like this one here. This one is called Linksbox, and it is a great web browser for the Xbox.
Cool.
It's pretty straightforward. You launch it just out of your Evolution X, which is your standard interface, and this application comes up. And it's basically just like you see here. You click, and then it browses to any web page you want.
Now-
And you use your controller.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
You have to put in all the URLs via the controller.
Yeah, everything is put in through the controller, and you can just browse. And it's a little hard sometimes to get to the little side scroll bar, but once you do, you can just drag it down like that.
Can you map it to the shoulder buttons?
Yeah, you can map it to just pushing up and down. It'll just scroll through really quick
sweet.
for you. Other things it has like links here. You can just push on one of the buttons here, and it's going to launch our links, and we can go to sites like, say, Google, and just click on the Go To, and it launches Google, pulls it right up there. And it's a great web browser. It's compliant with a lot of the web standards, so things like Slashdot and other sites that have tables, there's no problem with requesting that information. You can browse your Slashdot or whatever you want to do
What
right
about
within the
security if
application.
you're like on Amazon or something?
You can't do shopping on it.
No shopping.
No shopping. It doesn't have any type of the secure certificate authentication built in. But it's pretty cool. You would think, now it's got to be hard to type in on your little controller. But actually, when you're going to certain URLs, it's not that bad. All you have to do is push in on one of the buttons here.
Looks like a little chiclet.
It looks like a chiclet.
No, don't they? Those little
Oh
chiclets
yeah, they're
on the
like
horse?
little tiny chiclets. So all you have to do is you push in the direction of the letters that you want. So let's take a look on the left-hand side there.
All right.
You see the H, G, F, and E. So you would just push to the left, and when you do that, it's actually going to highlight which buttons that you have to push to fulfill that letter. So in case the yellow Y button would represent the H in this case. And then if you push down, you'll see if you want to put .com, .org, or .net, you can see there at the very bottom, you would just put those buttons. So it's not too bad when it comes to browsing. As far as like going through different web pages, the triggers cycle through the different websites. So you just pull a trigger and it cycles you through.
Can you cache web pages?
You can, and you can actually even download files to the Xbox hard drive.
Ooh.
So let's say you want to click on a link or save something to the Xbox hard drive that happens to be Xbox related. You can just highlight that link, choose Save As over a link, and then there's so many different buttons here. I forget which ones do which, but it takes a little getting used to, I have to tell you. Like when you're first browsing with your Xbox for the first time, you're so used to just using a mouse. Let's go to URL. But you have to there's like 15 different buttons on this controller, and you have to figure out which ones do which. But it's not too bad, and it's nice for when you're sitting on the couch, or if you just want an extra computer, somebody's over and you're playing your favorite game, and you're like, get off the computer. And
Is there a mod to use a PC keyboard with the Xbox?
There is. You can actually convert it to a USB keyboard. These are USB ports coming out here, and you can convert that, and then you could just use a full-blown keyboard, which is very nice, which should be something I should be showing, but I didn't have time to. Thanks, Roger, for pointing that out.
Hey, I'm just helping the audience here. Kind of.
I have to tell you, though, that this browser is cool, and it's open source, but I prefer Mozilla or Firefox for the Xbox, but that's for Xbox Linux, which involves installing Linux, so it's a little more complicated than just installing this app here. For the links to the Linksbox website, along with tutorials on modding your Xbox, you can check out my article. I have it up at kevinrose.com.
And we take a lot of your questions for our live shows, but we unfortunately can't answer all of them. So if you do have a question that needs answered, head to our message boards. What you do, up at the top, you see right here, it says forums. Click on that. And by the way, it's at forums.g4techtv.com. So click on this, then just find the screensavers board, and you're done. You've got to be a member to post topics, but it's free, so post away. Simple as that. Now coming up after the break, next caller asks about the legalities of iPods. That's coming up right after these messages.
Be sure to catch tomorrow's show. Meet the first amateurs to launch a rocket into space. Plus, customize Windows Explorer to streamline your file management and break out the lightsabers and use the Force. We're playing Star Wars Galaxies in our LAN party. That is all on tomorrow's show.
Cool. What's a Gorax?
I just have no idea what a Gorax is. I want to see a picture of a Gorax.
I don't think they exist.
Dan spaced out. He has no idea.
I think there were.
Dan was looking at the intern again.
No.
Spacing out.
I'm sorry, what can I say? Pretty intern.
Michael joins us on the phone from Cleveland, Tennessee.
Thanks for joining us, Michael. You have a question about iPods, I understand.
Yeah, I do. I was wondering, I was surfing the internet and I saw a bunch of buzz about iPods are going to be illegal. Is that true?
What did you see exactly about the illegal iPods?
Well, I was looking at some web pages and they're saying that they were going to be illegal, like there's some bill that they're voting on Congress.
Does this bill have something to do with a certain senator from Utah?
Yes.
Utah. Beautiful land, weak beer. It's very true.
I always thought Utah was a dry state.
No, they allow alcohol. They just have to. It's like only like 1% or something. You have to drink like 200 beers to. Anyway, Michael.
All right, I think you're talking about the Induce Act that Senator Orrin Hatch is trying to push through Congress. And essentially what this does, and let me just read over here, in his words, would allow creative artists to sue corporations that profit by encouraging children, teenagers, and others to commit illegal or criminal acts of copyright infringement. And what people are saying, this means that, you could actually take this law and broaden it out to include everything from CD burners to, hard drive MP3 players, because people use those devices to carry all those illegal songs that they download from the internet.
Yeah, but couldn't Apple just come back and say, hey, we have a legitimate music service?
But enough lawsuits, and after a while you say, it's too expensive to keep litigating this in courts, because look, now I got enough. I went from 5 people to 5,000 people suing me, and people say, well, Apple might have the right stand. They probably do, but litigation is very expensive and a very long process.
Right, but they could go after anybody. It's not necessarily Apple.
Well, no,
they could go after Dell
and that's what the EFF is saying, is that it's so broad that anyone could be included. I mean, a manufacturer that makes CD burners, DVD burners.
Yeah.
Where does it end? There's really no clearly defined point where it says, okay, not this technology. It's so broad that a lot of people are worried about it.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it right now. There's nothing that
has not passed law. It doesn't mean that you can't bug your parents or someone else that has that's a legal voter to contact this particular senator about this issue, or their local congressman or senator about this issue as well, because it's going through Congress, and your representatives are there to work for you. So make sure they know where you stand. We need some
music playing in the background, like some patriotic music.
Da 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 da. Wait, that's the President of the United States song. That. All right, thanks, Michael.
Thanks for the call, Michael. Now here's Leo with an email tip. Leo?
Last time I talked to you a little bit about IMAP, the IMAP protocol, why you might want to use it instead of pop mail or even web-based mail. You may say, though, where can I get an IMAP server? Well, if your internet service provider doesn't offer one, you can sign up for one. In fact, there are a lot of companies that offer IMAP servers. Corporate servers often use IMAP. But I'm going to recommend my favorite. This is a webmail server that offers IMAP as well. It's called Fastmail. They're out of Australia, but they have servers all over the world. They are well named. They probably are the fastest mail servers on the planet. Incredibly responsive. They do have a free plan that gives you IMAP. So if you want to just kind of try IMAP, go to fastmail.fm. Fastmail.fm or fastmail.us and sign up. You'll only get 10 megabytes of storage, and it's not as it's more like a free account at Yahoo or Hotmail. Actually, it's not even as good anymore now that the two are offering a lot more storage. However, I would suggest paying for a full account. Why? Well, because you get Kaspersky antivirus protection. That's the best in the business. You get Spam Assassin spam filtering, also the best in the business. And you get 3 automatic aliases. You get a variety of other features, including file storage features that are just really great for just $20 a year. I actually went for the enhanced account because it gives you even more storage and so forth. I have to tell you, Fastmail is great. You combine this with an IMAP client like Mulberry, and you've really got an email solution that is, I would say, more flexible for the traveler than any other. So if you only use one computer to get your mail, you don't have to worry about IMAP or Fastmail. But if you're the kind of person who's using Yahoo Mail or Hotmail because you're using so many different computers, you might prefer the security, the power, the flexibility of a combination like Fastmail.fm and Mulberry, the program I recommended yesterday. All the details in the show notes at our website. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Leo. Now stay where you are. Up next, we're going to check our inbox to see what's on your mind when the Screensavers continues. It is that time again. It's time for some final emails.
Yes, final email.
Dan has some over there.
I sure do. Okay. This is from Steven. Kevin, I read your email T-shirt. Where did you get it?
I have a bunch of those T-shirts. You've seen all those computer-related T-shirts. They have them at ThinkGeek, and they also have them at Jinx.com. I always put up a list of like all the shirts that I get so many emails. People are like, "Where'd you get the Dolby T-shirt? Where'd you get this T-shirt?" So I put up a list. If you go to KevinRose.com, on the right-hand side, there's a picture of T-shirts. It has all my T-shirts that I wear there, so you can have fun.
If you're a T-shirt fetish.
Yes. It's cool, though. ThinkGeek sends us stuff, Jinx sends us stuff, and we just wear it. They're fun, like, nerdy, geeky T-shirts, so cool stuff.
I'm sure they are.
Nerdy, geeky T-shirts. Okay. This is from John. I've been using ShareZaw. I've heard good things because I've heard good things about it. However, Zone Alarm keeps telling me that ShareZaw is trying to transmit email messages. What does that mean?
Well, ShareZaw is cool. You're the one who told me about it.
Yeah, it's a great. I don't really know what the email. I know it does have a messaging feature in it that you need to turn off if you don't want that because it has an IM functionality in it.
So might be trying to use that port?
It's probably using that port, and you can turn it off within ShareZaw within the options. In fact, there's a lot of things you might want to turn off in ShareZaw in the options.
Now, you don't have to worry about ShareZaw as far as being spyware added. It's completely open source.
It's completely open source, and I have found very, very, very little to fault with it.
Yeah.
For the most part, it works really well, and I use it exclusively as a BitTorrent client, so I actually don't connect to the Gnutella or the eDonkey servers. But that's my preference. But again, go to the options, and you can turn off a lot of those features, including the IMing, which is what I think Zone Alarm is catching.
Very cool. Do we have another email?
Sure. This is from Ryan. I have a question about video cards. I recently bought Halo for my computer, but it's just not cutting it. So I don't want to spend too much money, but what do you guys suggest to play the games for the future?
No, it's
just about Halo. It requires like a 32 meg video card for Halo, right?
Yeah, 32 meg, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you must have a pretty crappy video card.
If he has a really crappy video card, he might also have a very crappy PC, which in his case, he might just want to upgrade the entire machine, because there's no point in upgrading to a faster, better video card if your CPU can't, output that information to it.
So let's just say he has like a 1.4 gigahertz Athlon or something equivalent to that. That's a decent speed.
You can run Halo on that. And
what would you upgrade to video card-wise at that point?
If you can find one, upgrade to a GeForce 4 Ti 4200. You can get them for like 60, $40.
Dirt cheap.
And the reason I say that is because you want to upgrade just enough so when you upgrade to a new PC, you get a video card that can match that new CPU.
Exactly.
You don't want to upgrade to the super fantastic video card right now because your CPU won't benefit from it. So might as well upgrade to something that your CPU can use, and then when you upgrade your PC, you can upgrade the whole hog.
Get that cheap GeForce, and then later when Doom 3 comes out, I have a feeling like Doom 3 and some of these
is going to break a lot of PCs.
A lot of PCs. There's going to be a lot of PCs on eBay after Doom 3 hits the market. That'll be cool. Well, that is it for this edition of the Screensavers. I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Roger Chang. Thanks for joining us. We'd like to thank our guest, Alex Lindsay. See you next time, and have a great night.
Have a great night.
Woo-hoo! That was fun.